Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, good morning, good morning. I feel like I haven't been with this background in quite some time. I've been taking the calls in the morning while I'm walking around, and I've taken them other places, but I haven't taken them here in a while. So it feels a little bit homey, right? So welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so let's kind of take it from the top. Let's try to be brief. Of course, it's not much, and I find that the balance of our calls is usually me just blah, 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 blah. So Rhino Bucks, I was actually just buying just now. And if you look at it, you'll see that I made the first purchase and I have a couple more to go, but 10 o'clock came around and I missed it by just a minute. So I'll do that immediately after today's call. Um, so Rhino Bucks is fine. It closed yesterday, I think at like 265. It was this morning 263. Hey, Deborah, by the way, who I absolutely adore, emailed me at 2 in the morning. And Deb, what time did I email you back? 3:30 maybe? So for those that think Anthony just, pretends to be awake at that time, I know I really am working. So I think we opened at 263. I suspect we'll be over 265 by the end of today, and I suspect we'll be back over 270 probably by early next week. And then I would like to be over 280. That's my goal. I want to, yeah, right, Deb? And Deb, we do have that call at 2 o'clock. I did not forget, and I will be there. But the goal is I do want to be hovering around 280. That's the goal. So I'm pushing, pushing, pushing for that. So that's Rhino Bucks. Now, Rhino Friend, which is really becoming quite special. So originally, well, the original, right? If you that I was practicing and demoing on was 800 word prompt. Right now, it's up to I think like 11,000 words. I think I'm going to get it to 15,000 words. Now, the real prompt will be 32,000 words. But this 15,000 word prompt is going to be powerful. Now, the cool part about that is, again, because we have ChatGPT 4.0 32K, which is 0.01% of people have it, it allows us up to 32,000 words. In fact, if you joined OpenAI today, you would not even have a chance of having 4.0 32K for at least 8-9 months. Because again, what's cool about our access, it's not that we're the coolest people or we're their best customer or anything like that. We were just first. We're, I guess, by definition, the most loyal customer. And because OpenAI and ChatGPT and everything AI is such a boom, they're not short on customers. In fact, ChatGPT had broke the record for the quickest time between 0 to 1 million, and I think it was like 5 minutes, right? Like that's how quickly it's going. So not only do they not have a challenge getting new customers, but they also don't want that many new customers because it's almost like Facebook back when it became popular. There's a certain scale you have to manage. If all of a sudden you let all of these people on, well, can you effectively manage everything they do? Because the masses is always going to be smarter than the one, right? So because they have everything they need, they let newcomers on. But the newcomers that come on have to show over 6, 7, 8, 9 months that they're a good character, that they're one of the good actors before they ever even think about getting access like we have. Be that as it may, we have the access. We were first. We've been really good partners with them. We've have a flawless payments history. We don't do anything stupid, right? Like so, they're happy with us. The point of the story being, for us to even say, oh, we'll have a demo code of 15,000 words, that's more than 2,000 times what anyone that actually has 4.0 could even do. And that's what we're doing for a demo. So it is going to be quite powerful. I haven't started playing with it yet because I want to get all the code in. I want to get the full prompt in. But the direction we're going with it is really, really cool. I also created 100 mock businesses that I've put into the code. Now, what that's going to allow any user to do in terms of, playing with it and seeing, getting the real experience of what it's like to have a Rhino friend, is that I'm thinking if I should tell you what the businesses are or not. And that's not to like keep something from you. I think I'll probably make a button where you could look them up and say, don't look it up until afterwards. Because the point being, I want you to have the natural conversation. And I want you to see that maybe somewhere in the conversation, there becomes a moment where you might say something that could be this. And then you're like, oh my God, this thing identified my intent before I even knew my intent. And then it had two or three questions afterwards. It led the conversation, which led me to the actual intent. But I realized that they knew my intent 3 steps ago and they led me to it. This is amazing. And yeah, I do need that. In which case, the Rhino friend is going to make that recommendation to you and speak really personally about the business owner. Yeah, Stacy's amazing. Are you kidding me? This is what people say about her. In fact, the last couple of people that like really, really share some good personal stories because that's how Rhino is going to be built, or Rhino friend. Rhino obviously is built that way. Um, so it's going to give you a really great experience. Also within the code, and I mentioned it yesterday, I do want to make it my second in command, so to speak. Rather than it just being this demo that you play with and then you walk away from, I do want it to be multi-purposed where the demo is of purpose, right? Like the Rhino friend knows is presenting a demo to you with the goal that you join. That's a little bit more difficult because now I'm creating a couple of intents behind intents multiplied by intents within intents. I know, but it can't be so transparent, right? Like for instance, who do you like talking to a friend that you know just wants to sell you something? No, not in a million years. We all have those family members that we see them call and we're like, what do they want now? So it can't be that. But at the same time, you have to also not have your head in the ground. You know that this thing is going to make a recommendation to you. So fine, how can two of those things be true at the same time? Well, the golden, what's it called? In Indiana Jones, the chest that he got, the Ark of the Covenant, I think. But the golden thing of this is that if the recommendation is perfectly aligned 100% with your intent, then are you happy or not? And the answer is you're happy. That's what Facebook tried to do. In fact, what Facebook always tried to do was relevant ads. They're the ones that coined that term. The problem was they didn't know how to do it. And the way they thought to do it was, okay, great, this is phenomenal. We have all of these people, we have all of their data, we know their likes, their dislikes, who they talk to. We know that if you're friends with this person and you talk to them at this regularity, you probably have an overlapping 72% personality with them. But then this, really, really smart. Perfect. I think it was phenomenal. The problem is not that the idea was bad, and not even that the not execution, but not even that the calculation was flawed. It was the business part of it, because now you're taking money from corporations or ads, just businesses, and you're selling them user data that you've mined and that you have built and listed in such a way that they will be X amount probable to purchase this from you. In which case, no one person ever represents a data set. You have to have a bunch of people, which means the value prop or the actual transaction of Facebook was, we're going to farm these 100 cows and then we're going to sell you these 100 cows because you're a milk buyer or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it was never valued as the person. It was always valued as the group. And when politics and money get into a foundation that does not value individual but only values group, well, then you could silence any one person. You could do anything you want to any one person because they never had value to begin with. So that's why I think Facebook was really great and why it's a very flawed business model. What I see is that we are the evolution to that because we actually only value the person, right? Every Rhino friend is only accountable to that one person. Now, of course, it shares a base code that allows it to be functional in terms of it has the same functionality as everyone, but then it has a secondary base code that is unique to only the individual, meaning your Rhino friend does not care, and I'm going to not curse, but I'm purposely going to spell it out just to let you know how vehemently I feel about this. It does not give an SHIT about anything in the world except your happiness. That's it. So the recommendation it gives to you, hey, Andy, sorry for being late. You know what? Do 10 push-ups, right? The recommendations it gives to you is not because it's trying to make a sale. It's because it believes that these things would make you happy. It's very, very different. So the sale part of Rhino Friend is the consequence. It's not the it's not the goal. It's the consequence. When I was growing up, my father would always say, um, "Just work your butt off, and the money will be there." And you couldn't actually put a calculation to that, right? Like you didn't learn that in business school, but it was true. And if you ask any founder of something really, really great, they'll all tell you the same thing. I never even thought about money. It never crossed my mind. Of course, I thought about it when I need to pay bills, but I never, ever thought about money. I thought about the business because I knew what I was going to do. I worked my tail off. And when I got there, the money was just there. Do you think Elon Musk grew up saying, I want to be a trillionaire, right? Do you think he created Tesla because he's like, oh, this could make me a lot of money? No, it's not how these people think. And it's not how I think. Hopefully one day I'll be in the same sentence with them. But I think we're on our path there. So as it pertains to Rhino Friend, it does not care about money. It does not care about sales. It doesn't care about any of that. It only cares about what it takes to make you happy. That's it. And if making you happy is identifying you're hungry and offering you a slice of pizza, well, then the buying is the consequence, right? Like, the slice of pizza is not free. That's what it is. So I'm hopeful. I told my team I would have the code done this morning, but I'm not going to have it done this morning. I'll have it done by this evening. I might not even have it done by this evening because I need to test it. I'll have it done by tomorrow morning. But my team will be prepared for that. I have a 12 o'clock call with them. In the email I sent last night, I gave you a screenshot of what the Rhino Friend website is going to look like. I wonder if I have it over here. Let me take a look real quick. So it doesn't look so fancy, whatever, but and it's stagnant. It's just an image. But this is going to be what's going to be on rhinofriend.com. It's going to be fully functional. You're going to type your messaging in here. This is your Rhino Friend. Hello and welcome. You're going to be able to have an entire conversation. In fact, it's coded that as long as you don't refresh the screen, it will remember your entire conversation for like the next 10 days. It doesn't matter as long as you don't refresh the screen. And that's going to be really cool. So this, although it's just a picture, this is actually going to be fully functional and interactive. I want to say by tomorrow because I need to get the code in there. So that's really, really cool. And we're still on pace for the Monday launch. I have to get the code done because I do need to work on Rhino Agency. I have a lot of great stuff that's going to be able to build out that value proposition. So that's cool. I think that's it. So we were talking about business sites the other day and how Kartra would sell it to me for $40 and then I can go ahead and extend it to you for like 50, 60, 70, just, to constantly make sure that the bills are paid, right? I just don't like that though. Because I asked Kartra, I go, am I allowed to share the same domain? So for instance, it'd be rhinofriend.com/Andy, rhinofriend.com/Becky, rhinofriend.com/Deborah, right? And they go, no, you'd have to have all original domains, or you could do subdomains. So it would have to be andy.rhinofriend.com. And subdomains, it's the same work it would take to just do rhinofriend.com/Andy. Like it would be the same manual process, except one of those manual processes equals charging $60 and one equals charging nothing. Now, the pro and con is if you go the route of the nothing, right? Like where it's just rhinofriend.com/Andy, you don't actually have any ownership of that site because it's in our login. You would have to log in as us to go find your site to go do something with it. Now, of course, we're going to solve that. We'll probably have some type of portal that allows you to submit these changes, and then we'll have something on our side that implements the changes, yada, yada, yada. But that's not going to be day one. In fact, day one will probably be, let's get the site together. Let's make sure we're happy with it. And the first of every month, we'll send you out a survey and you write back, tell us what you like, dislike, and then we'll take 48 hours and implement those changes. Unless fire, right? Like, I need this change now. In which case that works. And then to the person that says, Anthony, I need to change my site every day. Like, that's my business. Okay, great. Well, then we'll buy the site and give it to you, right? Like, so there allows the flexibility. So that's going to be what your business site's going to look like. One of our rhinos made a really great recommendation. when I sent out that email the other day talking about the color, he goes, well, this is all really perfectly templated for Rhino, which is great, right? Like we're all part of Rhino. But can we allow that one section to be the color of the business? Because some businesses have their own colors. And it was such a good idea because I'm actively looking for a way that each business could still denote their individuality, right? Like we're all part of this, but we're not robots. We're not like factory out of a machine, like Anthony 1, Anthony 2, Anthony 3. So where can you go ahead and express other than your services and your contents, but where on that page says, oh, that's Becky's page. I know it right away because only she has that color, right? I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was really, really fantastic. So we are going to do that. That's going to be part of the implementation with what those pages look like. So this is what I feel like my real life is like. This is what my everyday feels like. So this is me, and this is life. I saw that and I was like, that's actually like I don't know how to express what my everyday feels like. That's my everyday. That's my everyday. So funny. And Muhammad Ali, how great to see. All right, love y'all. Yeah, it all worked out for him. Fingers crossed. All right, I love y'all. I'll see you later. Bye.